Hi, it's Phil Stone, and this is the Phil Stone Training Series. And in this video, we're going to talk about pay-per-click advertising versus search engine optimization. Now, pay-per-click versus SEO. Well, first of all, we're going to look at this in terms of our objective being to create a system that brings in 30 leads per day on average. Now, both of these programs are advertising strategies. Pay-per-click, obviously that money you see stacked up there is what you're paying. People go to your ad, they click on it, you pay for it. Whether they register at your site, whether they buy anything, or whether they just click, take a look, and go away. You're paying per click. SEO, same kind of thing. You're driving traffic. You're driving traffic to that site. And people go to the site, they either register, they buy something, or they just look and go away. Both of them are effective advertising strategies, but they have to be done right. Very important. You can get into a pay-per-click campaign and spend literally thousands of dollars and not get the results you were hoping for. You can do the same thing with SEO. You can put in thousands of dollars and thousands of hours putting it all together and still not getting the results that you want. So it has to be done right in both cases. Both need to be monitored and fine-tuned. You don't just put up an ad and pay so much per click and just forget about it. You always have to be testing, see what's most effective. Split testing, A/B testing, that kind of thing. You always want to improve your ads. You always want to monitor all of that because obviously it's not a free program. You got to make sure you're using your money wisely. The same thing holds true with the SEO. One day your site might be in the first place in Google, and the next day it's on the fourth. Maybe Google changed their algorithms and it just bumped you down. Or maybe somebody realized that the niche that you had was something that they wanted and they found a way to beat you. So it's got to be monitored in both cases. And both of them drive traffic, hopefully to a capture site. Why is a capture site important? Well, here's my website, and that's the reason it's important. You have an opportunity to get contact information in the registration box. Now, many people don't put in accurate information. Be aware of that. But you do have an opportunity to get a name and a phone number. And if it's accurate, it gives you the ability to pick up the phone, make that phone call, connect with that person, and create a relationship that you can actually drive towards monetization. This is the biggie. You get email addresses, and this in most cases is accurate. Most of the time they'll put in at least an accurate email, and that gives you a number of different options. One thing for certain, it gives you the ability to create and build a list. Very important. But it also gives you the ability to send autoresponder emails. You put together an autoresponder email campaign, and you can not only have the impression that they got the day that you get the site, but whatever frequency you want, an email can be sent right to their email address. You can do it over a period of days. You can stretch it out. You can do it randomly at any point in time. As long as they're on your list, you can send information to them. You can even change topics. Your list is something you can market to. So that's a really valuable part about this. By the way, to find out a little bit more about the systems that I use for building capture sites, take a look at the video in the Phil Stone Training Series, Phil Stone Training Capture Sites. And you can get access to that if you go to my website, philipjstone.com. Remember, there's 2 L's there. And go to that registration box and put your name in. You'll have access to that, as well as a really great set of autoresponders that will give you step-by-step instruction on how to build a system from SEO. Now, pay-per-click, let's talk about it. By the way, most people think about Google, Yahoo, and Bing, but there's a lot more. I mean, anywhere you see advertising on the internet, you can advertise. Don't forget things like Facebook and LinkedIn. Very targeted abilities there. I mean, quite frankly, let's say that you saw my site and you called me up and said, "Hey Phil, I'd like to put a small ad on your site. I see you have no advertising there. I want to be the only one." Well, if I was receptive to something like that, you could make me an offer. We could monetize it. Really, advertising can go virtually anywhere online. So don't just think Google and that's the only place to go. Google in a lot of cases will be the most expensive and the most restrictive. One of the benefits, pay-per-click, obviously, an immediate return. I mean, you can put an ad up and within a half an hour you can have people clicking on your ad. Now, using a hypothetical here, at $1 per click, 30 leads a day is $900 a month, or $10,800 per year. Now, you got to remember, when you put together a program like this, this is advertising. if you actually made $10,801 a year based on what we have right here, it would be profitable. It would be worth doing. As long as you're not losing money in a program like this, it makes sense. And obviously you want to make it more and more efficient. That's why the monitoring is important. But this scenario doesn't take into account that you have to have 100% conversion to get that. Keep in mind too that the dollar per click could be $2 or $3 per click, depending upon how competitive the keywords are you're going after. So if you have to get 100% conversion, well, that isn't going to happen. 30 leads per day with a 50% conversion rate is $1,800 a month. 25% conversion rate with this scenario, $3,600. 10% conversion rate, which is really far more realistic and might even be lower than that, depending upon how good the site is, how compelling your site is that you send them to. But I mean, you take a look at that, that's some serious money when you're looking at trying to create a system with 30 leads a day. Immediate return, but it can be expensive. And if you make mistakes with this, it can be very costly long term. SEO. It takes time to build an SEO system that's going to bring you leads. There's a lot to it. There's a long learning curve. I mean, there's a lot of little systems, little pieces that you have to master to be able to get this done. Many people will go out and hire people, and some of the people that they hire are good, and some are not. I mean, I've had so many people say to me, "Hey, Phil, I can get your site ranked #1 on Google." Well, I can get it ranked #1 too. If I do some oddball name like Giraffe Tails Wags the Dog, I can get first for that. I guarantee you, I can be first on that next week. Nobody searches it. Really, really important that you're dealing with reputable people if you're hiring some of this work out. That's one of the potential pitfalls. It requires automation and tools, and there's going to be an expense there. Now, I have to say the expense is far less than $9,000 a month, but there are things that you'll pay for monthly, there are things that you pay for one time, but it is going to be something you have to invest in to be able to build a system based on SEO that creates leads. If you think you're going to do it for nothing, you are flat dead wrong. There's a lot of hard work without results initially too. You first put your site up, you start SEOing things, you start putting it all together. It takes time to get a site ranked. One of the funny things about a website is that the age of the site has something to do with how well it's received by the search engines. It's part of their algorithm. So there's a time where you're working like crazy and you're getting no return. You have to be able to work through that. You have to be consistent and understand that it's the end result you're trying to get to. And as I mentioned, there's pitfalls all over the place. There are systems you might buy that don't work right. There are people that you might get associated with that you think are going to help you that don't. Maybe it's because they don't really know. A lot of people in the internet community profess to be experts, gurus, and they really don't have a clue. So there's a lot of ways that you can get messed up here. But you ask yourself this question, is it worth all this? Well, remember that 30 lead per day scenario we had with our pay-per-click. That was going to cost about $9,000 per month. So a system based on SEO driving 30 leads per day would be worth that same amount, $9,000, right? Or certainly something close to that. That's one of the reasons why I suggest if you're going to be in this for the long term and you're going to be consistent with what you do, definitely SEO is a great, great way to go to create leads coming into your structure all the time. By the way, a lot of folks start by doing little pay-per-click. They get their site built, do some pay-per-click to get it out there while they're building the SEO part of their system. That's smart. For more information, more training, go to http://philipjstone.com. Remember, there's 2 L's in Philip. You'll be able to see a bunch more information there, and I'll be waiting there for you. Bye-bye.